Virtual Light is a 1993 novel by William Gibson, and it is book one in the Bridge trilogy, a techno-thriller cyberpunk book centered around the abandoned San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge. Well, it's not quite abandoned, it's not being used though, really, that now houses the have-nots, essentially, between San Francisco and Oakland. It's in Northern California, which of course, this is Northern California, but I mean Northern California, which is a different state from SoCal. The year is 2006. We have two main characters. Chevette is a bicycle messenger. She's rather young. She lives on the bridge with an old man named Skinner. While making a delivery, she wanders into a party where there are very rich folk having a good time. So she steals some fancy glasses, essentially on a whim from a guy that she doesn't like, and just met, of course. And then this is the focus of the novel, as she starts getting tracked by several people after the glasses. Barry is a retired cop. He's now private security, and he gets hired to find the glasses. He has a series of unfortunate happenings, kind of as like a prologue to his actual events in the story, but he's not crooked like some of the other characters, whether they're cops or not. Orlovsky, Svobodov, Loveless, War Baby. There's also a minor plot of the young Japanese sociologist at the bridge studying its inhabitants, particularly Skinner. His name is Shinya Yamazaki, and I wasn't a big fan of his parts. It didn't really seem to add that much, though it did definitely add to some of the history of the place that we get of Shinya observing Skinner. The novel is very much focused, though, on class differences. The upper class often labeling all poor people as amoral and whatnot. And while that is present in the Sprawl books, the feeling is a bit more simple here and less weird. Central to this conflict, though, is not a sort of eminent domain. Central to this conflict, though, is a sort of eminent domain plan to scrap a bunch of the city for some plan that takes no account of the people living there. As is normal for cyberpunk from this era, it focuses on corporations as bad, not so much like the government as impotent, but in reality, I don't think you would really want to trust either of them in a cyberpunk future. So we also have some interesting religious stuff. That in particular, Barry has a partner actually named Sublet. Sublet is an albino and has many health problems, but he's also involved, or was previously involved, and still is kind of related since his mother is involved, in a weird Christian sect that sees God in video, particularly in movies. It's a bit silly, but it leans into the worship of the machine that society is kind of drifting towards that Gibson foresaw. Though I doubt such a cult would likely be Christian, to be honest. At least that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but I don't know. I guess it could happen. The characters themselves, though, are rather approachable, rather normal, good, right? Or at least not bad people. Gibson's characterization really works, though. His style's a bit in the literary side, so not making it something super easy to connect with. Sometimes, like some contemporary, or a lot of contemporary works tend to, or at least try to, or maybe some of the less serious novels from the time Gibson wrote this. But overall, it's enjoyable. It's a very easy read compared to Sprawl. So if you're curious about Gibson's thoughts on a sci-fi near future, this one's a bit different than the Sprawl books. But maybe try this if you bounced off Neuromancer. It's not the same world, so you could start here. And again, this is the Bridge books, not the Sprawl books. So anyways, I'm happy I read it. And I definitely look forward to reading the next ones, though I doubt they're really like sequels of sorts. They're probably just doing their own standalone thing. Anyways, leave from Lean's Ice here.